Man, this is a brutal matchup for Dimu. Malians on Cliffside going up against Chinese. I rate Chinese as like top 4 civs on Cliffside. They're so damn good on this map. In the hands of a lethal dose of Anatan, I'm a bit worried that Team Liquid's boy is at risk of getting drowned here. Welcome back to the AV4 action, folks. Cliffside, my favorite map, man. I just feel like I haven't been seeing this. I missed it in the recent tournament. I'm gutted that we didn't have it in Master of Realms. I really, like, correct me if I'm wrong, the Red Bull Wallalow map pool doesn't have it either, right? Which I'm hoping I'm wrong about that. I hope it is in, because I think Cliffside is far too good to not have. Yeah, it's not in. Man, I actually think that's kind of like a big miss on the Red Bull side. Like, we have Golden Heights, we have Gorge, but we don't have Cliffside. I feel like I'd rate Cliffside above those two. I'd even put Cliffside above Rocky River. I feel like most civs can play this map, bar Malians, you have a hard time. The reason why Malians suck here, guys, is because sometimes you get scammed on the pit mine spawns. Like, for example, he got lucky this game, but quite often I've seen games where the gold hugs on the cliff sides and you can't build houses around them. But I'd say this is one of the most competitively viable maps for a majority of civs. And what I love is the pacing of it, man. It's not just a hunker down and camp map. You'd think it would be because of all the walls, but what we learned very quickly is when you spawn players closer together, it tends to make attacking more effective. So Imperial Academy now coming in. Mansa on the other side. Pretty standard build-up. Anatan could drop the Barbican or delay on the forward here. Typically, Malians aren't that aggressive as Civ, so you get away for free. The reason why dropping a Barbican here is so good is because it sees every move your opponent makes through the short route and blocks it because they get attacked. That means then if Dumu wants to fight you, if he wants to go in your base with a trickle of troops early on, he has to go like that, or he has to go like that. Same reason why Roos is really good on this map. Civs that have defensive landmarks that they want to build, notice I put that detail in because Malians have a defensive landmark, they just don't want to build it. Civs that have defensive landmarks they want to build are very potent because of that L shape on the map. Oh, I just realized we can do live predictions. Ah, my gamblers get what they want. It's kind of interesting to think that when I popped a prediction up like this, let's say 6 months ago, 99% of votes would just have been Dumu favored, right? Whereas now, I mean, you see these two clash, either player could take it, right? Love the double scout opening by Anno. He got quite a bit of the sheep, right? Oh, actually, no. Okay, credit to Dumu. That's really impressive. Then again, I think did he go cow straight away? No. So that's really impressive then. Dumu, he got 11 sheep compared to 13 remaining against the Chinese. That with 2 scouts. That's really well played by Ben. I don't think there's really much left on the map either. No. Basically, everything's been scouted now. I don't think you chicken new here. Chicken new is a chica joke. Especially when you're playing Chinese. Zhuji potentially can chicken new, but even then, like, chicken newing against Malians is a death sentence because of the jabs. But the thing is, like, China's not very good at going chicken new build anymore. Because the other options are better because of the timing, right? Like, you have to remember, compared to Zhuji, you get chicken new. This is the mind-blowing part. 690 resources past the point where Zhuji get it. Because remember, they get the 90 resource discount on going for a tech up. And then as Zhuji, you have access to Chuginu straight away. Whereas for the Chinese, you need to get Song Dynasty. It's a huge difference. And look at this. We've actually got Warrior Scouts getting queued up. That's interesting. Barbican drops already in position. This is a dirty-ass Barbican, by the way. Was not expecting this. Alright, I'll review the video after this game. But this is kind of wild, right? Like, this type of Barbican leaves you exposed on the forward. But I think the reason why Anatan done this is because he's against a Civ that doesn't attack very often in Feudal Age. So there is a little bit of gamba fun enough from Anatan that he's not going to get all in down the center. Because if he does, he's very exposed. Especially considering he's also going 2TC. Like, I legit think the best thing that Dimu could do right now is just try to gun him. So what, you go into like jabs here, and then you add in some Donzos and go down the center. The reason why you definitely need Donzos is your opponent will go Horseman when he's got deer and boar like this, and berries. This is way too much food to give China. The goal, by the way, with this dive-in is you don't want to attack the Barbican That's the biggest mistake. Like, when your opponent places a Barbican like this, your mindset needs to be he hasn't guarded the route to his base on a short map. Instead, though, it looks like Dimmu adding in more scouts. I doubt this is a pro scouts play. It just doesn't really have much value because you can't dive the Barbican easily without getting sniped. And there's only one other deer stack, right? And to be honest, when you're playing Malians, the cattle are just better, right? Yes, it costs, but you can kind of afford it. So I guess this is just about probing harassment. Also gives them a way of denying the initial scouts from even trying to harass the houses anymore. Because remember, warrior scouts move quicker than normal scouts. Kind of a busted and underrated thing about Malians. Means you can easily deny all vision like this. Curious, how did you guys vote in the end, by the way? 95% went for Anatan. I love how I started this off by saying, you know, 6 months ago, 95 plus would be saying Dimmu would win. And now it's completely flipped in this one. It's partially Civ matchups for sure, though. Dimmu, stop pulling for castle. Okay, so he doesn't want to go for the all-in. Interesting. I guess the logic is like, you know, Malians can do all-in feudal, but going castle is technically easier. I do feel like you're giving Anatan way too much room here, though. Like, it's Song Dynasty 2 TC. With that amount of food, he's going to kind of offset the Fulani effect by the time you get it. Because remember, like, although you see Dimmu is halfway to a tech up, he doesn't have the ranches filled yet. So if he blind techs here, he's got a very weak economy. Yeah. I'm starting to wonder if this is actually a trick and he's going for Ember. That would be really crafty. You wouldn't expect Farimba in this matchup. And Farimba can be advantageous on such a short map because you reach the enemy base so quick. So that first group of jabs, or the first group of archers, whatever it's going to be, can hit pretty hard. And just meanwhile, still getting to more spears. Means if this is just a Fulani on a delay into sofas, then Dimmu's not going to have a very easy way in. I don't know, man. I'm thinking we got Farimba. It's Fulani. I should have known, right? Like, Fulani is very broken, especially when it's full. It definitely feels like a knee-jerk reaction, though. Almost like he wasn't expecting Anatan to maybe go 2 TC. Even though it's the most expected Chinese build. Because the order's a bit weird. It might be that Dimmu's testing something new out in terms of timing. Because in theory, you can actually push a lot of cows while you're teching up. The only downside is you can't upgrade many units. But the logic I think, for Dimmu is he doesn't have many units that need upgrading. He could just straight away go mass sofas. And sofas are fairly cheap in the gold cost to upgrade to and also sustain. What an intriguing build. Remember, when he started this tech up, he had, like, what? I think maybe 7, possibly 8 cattle and ranches, and that was it. Meantime, Anna, wall is going to go up. So we'll delay the arrival. Really would benefit from walling here. You just want to try to funnel the choke points, right? Give your opponent a predictable way of coming, because then Spearman can always react. Dimmu. Actually upgrading the sofas now, so we are going into mass sofas with archers to support. I know his timing feels a bit weak here, right? It's deceptive because the thing you have to always be cognitive of is when you go out into deer and boars, you gather a lot more food before dropping off. So realistically, Anatan should be capable of a tech up much quicker than it first seems apparent. But it's like the balance that gives and takes, right? Like, you are talking about 400 food a minute into sustaining villager production. That's a lot. That's almost half of his income. So the ranches are about to finish filling out here. One issue with Dimmu going archer plus sofa, he has really slow burn through on walls. And Anatan is walling the entire length of the map. In fact, he's already got the critical walls up. There's not really any options left for Dimmu here. He's going to have to waste time burning through. Kind of a tricky one, right? Like, I'm kind of looking at this game and wondering if Dimmu would have been better served by Musafadi to get the torch count up. It feels that way, right? And yeah, I think he agrees. Donzo's Musafadi, something along those lines, because you just need burn-through power. The whole idea of this point in the game for Malians is reach a flood. Reach a critical mass number that dives. This doesn't look like a critical mass right now. Oh, town down the way from Anno. I wonder, what's the comp going to be? You could start spamming Lancers here as Anno. Palace Guard kind of works, but if you think your opponent's going Musafadi, you have a bad day, right? And his food income isn't crazy, so it does kind of lean towards something like PG, which is a little bit more cost efficient to get numbers up. Because you either need bulk to defend a choke point, or you need walls. So we've got a relic grab going on. So that's the one weakness for Anno right now, is because you hunker down like this, you forfeit relics. And I don't think you can get out quick enough. So this is a really big edge for Dimmu. He needs this. The amount of gold pump he's going to have available to him, this could easily be a transition into Siege, which is important because typically at this stage, Chinese players try to hold onto the game off the back of Nesta B spears, which is what we're seeing, right? So if you rush out, get relics, get sacred sites, you can actually inflate your spring count very fast. Time. Intent shown to actually inflate the sofa count. Import armors on the way. Nesta Bs are going to start stinging. And this should be a pushback. Dimmu doesn't have the numbers just yet to break through here. It is being a pain in the ass, though. And looks like... Oh, wow, okay. Anotan's actually trying to race relics now. Unfortunately, it looks like Dimmu is targeting the most critical one here. He can still play for the relics a little bit further north. If he can get 2 relics here, this will be huge for Anatan. Because when you hunker in the corner like this as well, you don't have much gold. You got tax, which can help, but like in terms of raw gold you can access, you've got the one at the back and one that's got 1.7k left, right? So after that, you're going to be in range of Dimmu's army. Dimmu now marching north. Anno with a quick wall up though. Once again, just kind of handcuffing the choices, right? His whole goal is to drive the fight towards these Nesta Bs. Which nice stinger. This is another reason why China feels really ridiculous on this map. It's kind of an awkward element around balancing. With map design, right, is when you create maps that have a lot of choke points, that have cliffs that can't be removed as choke points. It does favor China more so than practically any other civ in the game, because Nesta Bs take advantage of that so well. Great Bombards is another example. China's too easy to hate. I mean, they like 8 out of 10 games they just spam Nesta Bs, right? It pretty much writes itself as a hateable story. I still do not know how Nesta Bs haven't been, honestly, just at this point reworked after all this time. They still to this day feel ludicrous. And then Clock Tower really is just the cherry on top. Musafadi count is insanely high. I'm not sure how I feel about Musafadi. Spearmen are usually a really good answer to Musafadi. Because Spearmen, although they have a worse attack speed, in terms of the efficiency as a blocker, they're really effective for that role, just to kind of absorb the blow. Because Musafadi don't get bonus damage against them, they have reasonable health for what they cost. Like, Spearmen, basically, if you think about it from a cost stats perspective, Spearmen are the most efficient unit in the game. Dimmu does admittedly have archers to deal with that. He also has 3 of these Nesta Bs to deal with. Finally, we've got a Springwood on the way. Timing adds up as well. We talked about the whole idea that once you get relics, once you cap sacred sites, that's when you have enough gold coming in to afford siege. Still, I am a bit worried that Anatan's eco lead is big enough that he can mirror that. For the moment, he's not bothering. the moment, we do not have any spring coming. Boys, I was trying to brag about how Cliffside is great for quick games, but... And this, to me, is actually a result of like Nesta B's existence more than anything else. Siege can kind of have this effect, but Nesta B's is the amplified version, where you're very reluctant to dive in these type of maps because it can easily lose you a fight. It can easily just lose you the entire game. So he plays this strategic. Gets anti-siege count up as required. Military Academy also on the way. So this is where Dumu is reaching Zerg point. His military is bigger, and he's going to maintain that biggerness. Yep, that's the word. By building a lot more units a lot quicker. If I'm not mistaken, Anatan has kind of skipped that element. Okay, he's got it queued up after the melee attack. We are approaching the point where Anatan needs to set up these granaries, so there is a weakness to him in the next minute or two. It won't be as crippling as you sometimes see in games, because he's going to be going granary after he's passed 100 pop, which means he has surplus wood gatherers to kind of afford. Dimmu, ready to make his move here. It is basically mass spearman. Nesta Bees. Good initial hit. Spearmans are going to move in for the trade. Villagers not able to repair quick enough here. Anatan. No way. Dimmu. He's got his number. All 3 bees down. Anatan, I think, is about to lose this game. What a timing there, Dimmu. Anatan, he tried to cheese it. He wanted to rush repair between Springald shots, but 4 Springalds makes that simply impossible. Damn. What a timing attack by Dimmu there. That was so succinctly executed. Read him textbook, man. I mean, this is the problem, right? This Chinese build is very strong, but at the same time, very predictable. Now, because of that, Dimmu looks poised for a victory here. Starts to burn through the buildings. Keep drop coming in for Anatan to try and stabilize. Front side of his base has already been forfeit, though. And instead of building more Nesta Bees, he now has to build Siege before he can do anything else. Burner boys moving in the meantime. Remember, this is a lot of torch power for the Malians. This is the whole point of the Flood. Castle is being set up on Anatan's tree line, so this is a stabilization point, so Dimmu can always have somewhere soft to reset to. Sprills in the meantime. Trade out continues. Anatan down to just 1. Dimmu with 2. Love that he's blocking out the houses, just trying to prevent Anatan from scaling up to 200 pop here. Second TC can now be targeted. Torch power is so strong at this stage. Anatan, only 1,700 gold left behind this. If this drags out too long without him claiming part of the map, the outcome is inevitable. Dimmu now marches in. Anatan still no Nesta Bees. Only spears and Palace Garden. This is a losing comp, by the way. Like, both of these units will lose to archers over time, right? Like, you just frontline Musafadi, and the archers are the MVP, especially with the poison arrows. The reason why Dimmu doesn't raid is if he raids, he breaks up his comp, and then this comes in and cuts him, right? Like, if you take Musafadi and run here, these guys can attack either the Musafadi or the archers. He's got to keep. It makes a lot more sense what he's doing. He's camping the location. Because then it forces Anatan to have to dive him. Between that keep, Trebs have now arrived. Dimmu, I think the one thing I would criticize is not keeping Siege up here. I think he kind of tunnel visioned on that element. I'm fine with him attacking straight up, but the fact that he allowed the Spring count to go over to Anatan is a big mistake. One that might keep Anno in this game. STB's good flurry. Anno holding on. STB's are overextending slightly. That's a bit of a freebie, but credit to him, man. A game where he should already be dead. Finds a way to stop the suffocation. What's the next step, though? Because I'm starting to notice a wraparound here. Villagers once again being targeted. Still no forward siege workshop. Banker repairs about to come through. That's really smart by Dimmu. It's an insanely powerful tech. It allows you to be a lot more efficient in terms of how many villages are required for a repair crew. Anna's out of gold, right? Yep. Last bit being drained now. Probably a good thing as well. It means the villagers should move away from their death. It's Anatan now with only a trickle of gold. Key drop coming in on the north side as well to deny him further. This is the danger point. Anatan at risk of being reduced to just mass spears. Dumu marches forward. Second wave comes in to now try and contest those sofas. Archer on the backside having a good time. Spring trade out is looking good. Dumu now with the anti-siege advantage. And Anatan only a keep between him and defeat. Well, here's the thing. Anatan might have more supply, but that counts for nothing if you can't do anything with it, right? He's rushing mass farms right now. His food income is abysmal, and his access to a variety of resources is bad. He basically can get food and wood, and that is it. Meanwhile, Dumu, 3,000 gold. That's the big game changer. In fact, it looks like Dumu might be considering Imp Age here. I don't know if that's entirely necessary, but you could argue it makes it a lot simpler, right? Like, because then you just get shard triggers and the siege can never win. And yeah, there you go. Imp on the way. Fort the Huntress in the center of the map. No, I don't think Dumu's giving too much time to Anna at all. There's a lot that he gets from Fort the Huntress. These mass archers will get a lot of damage increase because remember, precision training is a thing, right? This is something that's really nice about converting mass archers is that your very peak Unitech exists in your blacksmith already at half the price of Unitechs. On top of that, there's going to be the elite tech. Like, this just makes the fight a lot cleaner. And then the Shudder Triggers guarantees that Nesta Bees can't be the saving grace for Anatan. This is absolutely fine. I think Dumu took the right call here, like the right choice. Because diving just gives a potential way that Anatan gets back in, because the farms will be grinding behind this. Treb's still trying to break through, but man, this is tough. The issue he has here is he doesn't have many Trebs to commit, and the Manta Quarry is giving permanent stone. So Dumu, he's very efficient with the banker repairs, and he has the permanent stone, the infinite stone, to keep repairing. I know. Tricky situation now. Those elite techs are not going to take too long to come through, folks. Shot triggers the most critical of all. Trip count has at least reached a point where Anatan should be able to eventually breach the key, but now, with a Fort the Huntress behind it as well, it's not that simple to break out. More villagers now being pulled for the repair. Stone gathering happening on the other side of the map, so this guarantees he keeps it up. At least it should. TC in the meantime is not going to survive, so Anatan's going to lose that. Anno is prepping to protect his farm area, but he still has a fundamental issue in this game, and it's gold. For now, it looks good. 1,800 in reserve, but look at that income. The issue now for Anatan is Imp actually kills him, it doesn't save him. When you get Imp, how do you get any value? Gold. Where are you getting that gold? You have to find out. Spirit Way. Now, what? Okay, now in fairness, I think Great Wall Gatehouse doesn't change anything. Your opponent has 5 trebs, so I want to justify this to Anatan because it's fair. Genuinely, Great Wall Gatehouse does nothing here. So you might as well Spirit Way and get some value potentially. Flash coming in though, and this feels like a loss. Nesta Bees trying to march up. Skrill trade out begins, but the knob's have already been removed. And this is going to be game. Dumu, he has Culverins coming behind. The Sprills can't win that fight either. Landmarks are getting sniped down one by one. He's lost control of the game. And it all came down to that one moment. Just think back to where this all went wrong. It was one foul swoop. Dumu, with the quad Springle build, was able to brutalize that Nesta Bees backline before Anatan even had an opportunity to react. He tried to cheese it with the mass repairs and paid the ultimate price. 25 elo. Apparently that's the ultimate price. 25 whole elo. I don't think I'd gamble on 3 Nesta Bees for that.